Welcome back. This is Unapologetic Introverts, and I am Jade. Erin is not with me this week. She is on vacation in Edmonton, the lucky bastard. Today, as I am recording on Friday the 13th, she has spent majority of her day at the West Edmonton Mall, and I've been getting updates, and I am loving it. So I'm sure she will fill you guys in on how her trip was when she is back next week. But yeah, I just figured I would do a little microsode to make sure that we are still ahead of schedule and we don't have to miss a week because that would be sad and I don't want to do that. So if you're wondering what I'm going to talk about and I haven't titled it something obvious, I'm just going to do a book review so far of the book that I'm reading. And if that's not something that you're keen to listen to, by all means, skip this episode. I will not be offended. And since I'm not finished, you guys will get another update when we record again when Erin is back in the next 2 weeks. So I'll follow a little, I guess, what we normally do. So just want to say thank you to everyone because I looked at our Spotify today, as I do every day, and we are over 600 plays. That's so fun. I feel like we just hit 500, so that's promising, and it's always exciting to watch numbers go up, even if we did lose a Spotify follower. But yeah, thank you guys for listening and sharing with your friends and commenting and just being great. We really appreciate you. Another little update, I am finally getting my nails done. If you know me in person, you know that this is a big deal. If you don't know me, I will give you a little backstory. I have always had short, brittle, crappy nails. When I was younger, I always used to bite my nails and it was pretty bad. Not like that they were nubs, but they were never really white. And I feel like as I grew up, it became an anxious thing to not bite them, but to pick at them. I don't know if anyone else is like this, but my nails peel. If they like get a crack, I can peel like a layer. They're thin as it is, but they get thinner if that happens. So for a while, they were really crappy and I go through spurts of them being okay. And that probably has to do with me not feeling stressed, but that's fine. So recently I've had a couple spurts this year where they've been long. I've been painting them. I would paint them for like a couple weeks. But the thing is, if I paint my own nails and it chips, I just peel it off. I peel it all off, every single nail, because I'll find an imperfection and they'll all be off. And then that's not good for your nails. Sydney, shout out to Sydney, did introduce me to Sally Hansen Hard as Nails, which I actually had in my drawer from like years ago. It was probably expired. So I was using that, still using that. And the last time I painted my nails, I think it was 2 weeks ago, and it just didn't last. It was chipping, probably because I don't wait long enough or there's never enough time. It's not curing properly before I put my top coat on. So they chip easily and then I just get annoyed. So what I've been doing is I've been putting the Hard as Nails treatment on, and then once that is dry, I'll just put on an actual top coat. So they're a little shiny and they're still got like some sustenance, I think that's the word I'm looking for, to them. So they're not as bendy. So they're not likely to break as easily. So I've been doing that and they've gotten decently long. I'm very happy with them. Maybe I'll post a photo of my nails on our Instagram story after this episode airs, but I'm not sure. That might be weird. I have crooked fingers. But yeah, so I'm going to get Biab, I think it's called. It's BIAB gel. And they promote it like it goes in your natural nails and it's used to help you grow out your nails. So I'd like that. I feel like I don't want to take a lot of length off if I don't have to even them out. But it will be nice to have some reinforcement so they don't break as easily. Although the base coat and the strong as nails has been working pretty good. I do find, and if there's any nail techs that are listening for whatever reason, or anyone gets their nails done a lot or does nail care, both of, I don't know if they're both ring fingers, but my ring finger and then the same finger on my right hand always break in the same area. I don't know why. They get to a certain length and then they get little cracks. And then if I'm not careful, it rips my whole nail. Not like the whole nail, but you know what I mean. So I was like very precautious. I've been trying to be careful, and the one on my left hand, so my actual ring finger, did crack. So I got the little piece that like started to pull away, clipped it, filed it, and I super glued it. It lasted like a day, because the next day I washed my hair and it came out, so I don't know if that had anything to do with it. So then I super glued it again. I put more glue on it. I didn't get it on my skin. I tried to get it from the underneath as well, just to make sure that I could have it. You can't really tell if you look at it. The nail itself needs to be shaped as I'm looking at it right now. And then I just put hard as nails over it and a clear coat. And I've been just, if it needs a little touch up here, I'll do that. Not with the glue, don't worry. And it's held so far. I have been taping it with medical tape every time I shower because I just don't want it to break. I'm hoping that when I go, the nail tech can just take it off, because I feel like the alcohol is just going to dissolve it, and then we can either put an extension on if it needs to be all cut, or maybe the gel will just act like the glue, and I would be okay with that. But yeah, I'm excited, so stay tuned for that. Erin's excited for me. She doesn't know how I function right now, but I love long nails. I love the whole... That's that. I'm getting my nails done. I just talked for 2 minutes about my nails. Maybe this will actually be a decent microsode and not just like a 10-minute long one. The next thing is that if you've been listening, you know who Sydney is. She was a co-op student at my job, and we became really good friends. She's had 2 terms with us, and she is off in Rome doing her schooling. So she's in Rome, and I keep getting updates, and I'm so excited. And before she left, I was like, I'm gonna miss you so much. Can we write letters? And she said yes. So I sent her a letter on Labor Day, or the Sunday before Labor Day, and she got it yesterday. And I mean, so that was like a week. That was fine. So I'm very excited, and I can't wait to get one back. Sydney also got me a pin of the Coliseum, and I'm so excited. I can't wait to see that. And Sydney, if you're listening and you see any other pins, I am down. I will pay you. And yeah, I think that's all the updates. Erin and I have talked about the astronauts. I think that their ship has finally come back, but they're still up there, and I don't really understand that. Maybe we can dive into that, of why the ship was able to come back, but they weren't able to be on the ship. I know there was some safety concerns, but I don't really understand. Yeah, let me jump into Spotify. I'll give you guys my day list, since it's always soul crushing. Let's see if it's the same. Oh, wrong playlist. Okay, today, this afternoon, evening, my day list is Euphoric Fanfic Core, Friday evening. So you listen to Riz and After Hours on Fridays in the evening. Here's some Euphoric Fanfic Core. If you know, you know. Freaky art, dance, and tension. This is an interesting playlist. So the first song is Slow Down by Chase Atlantic. Then we've got Fetish by Selena Gomez and Gucci Mane. I want to know what is in If You Know, You Know. And it's just the acronym, by the way. Oh, I Want to Be Your Girlfriend by Girl in Red. Nonsense by Serena Carpenter. Afterglow by Taylor Swift. And let's look at Art Deco, just because that reminds me of Aaron. We've got The Bolter by Taylor Swift, Astronomy by Conan, oh my god, sorry, and American Money by Borns, or Bjorn. I don't know how do you want to pronounce that. But yeah, that is my day list. No soul crushing. Aaron, be proud. So, for this episode, Microsode, like I stated, I'm just going to do a book review so far, because I've not done the book, of Love Unwritten by Lauren Asher. For anyone who hasn't heard of Lauren Asher, she's a contemporary romance author, and I fell in love with her books, I think, last year or the year before. Time is kind of blurry, so I'm not entirely sure when I started. But I want to say I read the Dirty Air series first, but now that I'm thinking about it, I might have read the Dreamland Billionaires first. I think I read them first. Anywho, regardless of what it was, I saw it on TikTok, so thank you, TikTok. I currently have all of her books. So I've got all 3 series. I've got the Dirty Air series, Dreamland Billionaires, and then Lakefront Billionaires, which is the most recent one. And she's coming out with a Christmas novella, and I am so excited. And I hope it goes to print. I think there's printed versions. It's not just an ebook. We'll see. If it's just an ebook, I'll be sad. But Sydney, keep in mind. So I am a type of person who I want all of my covers and spines to match. Now, if you know Lauren Asher, you know that Dirty Air was self-published, and then I do believe Dreamland Billionaires was self-published as well. But then last year, it was picked up by, I don't remember which publishing company, so it changed slightly. And by slightly, I just mean the font on the cover changed for the last book in Dreamland Billionaires, which is Final Offer. And that was the one book I was waiting for, and then they changed the font. So the colors match, and the graphic, I think, is the same as what it would have been, and it follows the look of the other books, which is totally fine. The font has changed, which means the spine is not the same, and the cover title is not the same in the same sense as the other ones, which drives me nuts. So I did some digging. A lot of people had questions because they wanted all their books to match, and in Canada and the US, it wasn't going to match. In places like Spain and Germany and maybe parts of the UK, and maybe Russia, I think they still had the same a cover, because the publishing company was, I believe, just changing in the US and Canada, so most of North America. So I, like I said, did some digging. I went on Amazon, was trying to look at, Amazon in Spain, and couldn't find anything, but I found one from the Germany Amazon. It was in English. It had the right ISBN, I think is what it's called. Don't ask me what that means. Something to do with the book number, like publishing number, so you know what version it is. And I spent $80 on a book just so it would match. But you know what? I don't regret a single moment. I find that Lauren's writing is really easy to follow. It doesn't just skim the surface, if that makes any sense. You get a chance to meet all of the characters. You find out their quirks, their flaws, their habits, and get a genuine description of what they look like. And for someone who's constantly got a movie playing in their head when they read, this is exactly what I look for in a book. You're getting to know the characters like they're in the room with you. It's not just she has brown hair, blue eyes, and she likes math. It's, why does she like math? Sorry, I'm blanking on what to say. You get to know them on a more personal level, so it makes reading easier, and it's easier to kind of dive into the story and visualize everything. For anyone out there on Book Talk or wondering whether their kids should read this, is Lauren spicy? I wouldn't say she's terribly spicy. Is she moderately spicy? Yes. It's not going to take over the whole book. It's not going to wreck the plot by any means. It's sprinkled nicely throughout the story. We have a lot of slow burns, which if you're into that, I feel like you will love these. So sometimes, you're going to want to reach the book and you're going to want to slap someone, but what good is a romance novel if it doesn't make you want to do that? Or what good is any book if you don't get frustrated and feel something? Getting into the actual review of Love Unwritten so far, I'm going to do my best not to spoil anything. If I do, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. But, fair warning, it's a romance novel. They kind of all follow the same storyline when it comes down to things, which some people may find annoying and unappealing, but if that's the case, rom-coms ain't for you, Lauren's not for you, and this Microsode isn't for you. I'll start with the characters. So there's Eleanor, I think his name is Raphael, and then Nicholas are our main group of characters. And of course you've got characters from the first Love Unwritten book, the first book in the series. And I believe they haven't been present in the story, but they've been mentioned. There's characters from the last book, Final Offer, in the Dreamland Billionaire series. So for Eleanor, I really enjoy her character so far. I'm finding it very easy to relate to her. Like always, Lauren has written these characters so beautifully. She's very easy to connect to. I understand her. She's got a heart of gold, but she doesn't take shit from anyone, which we always love. She's a bit stubborn, but I mean, who am I to judge? I'm sure I'm just as stubborn. It's been nice to see her kind of progress through the book. There's some stuff that's happened, and as I'm reading, we're getting more and more into her history, I want to say, and learning things that were kind of sprinkled in the beginning of like, oh, we're hinting at something, but I don't know if it's actually happened. And then we're uncovering things, we're diving deeper, and oh shit, like this has actually happened, and we're gonna work to fix this. For Raphael, I want to say I remember him from the first book in the series, but I don't think so. I've read a lot of books since I read the first one in the series, so it's a little different. I do remember all the characters that I met in the first book and those that were sprinkled in Final Offer. So I'm wondering if he was just kind of mentioned, kind of like another character who the third book is going to be about, Julian. He's been sprinkled in the last 3 books, and by 3 I mean I'm counting Final Offer in this when I say that. So I know of him, but we haven't really met him, but we get to meet him next year, and I'm very excited to look at that. So yeah, I don't really remember him, but it's nice because I get to go in fresh and kind of just start from the beginning. But yeah, so it's been nice. Overall, he seems like a decent human. He's way more stubborn than Eleanor. Clearly has some issues that he's got to work through to, progress in life and build his character arc. But Lauren's really good at diving into her characters and having them work through situations. So if she introduces something and it's like, oh, yada yada has trauma because of this, it's not just later down the road, oh, it's fixed. Like, you're going to see them go to therapy. You're going to see them talk openly with their friends or their family or their loved ones about like what's going on. Like real life conversations are happening in the book, which I think, again, makes it easier to read. It's not just like, oh, this is just some made up novel. It's everyday things that are happening. So it's more relatable. He is kind of annoying. I have had to like stop reading for a minute just to be like, dear God, can you shut up? Like, you are making so many wrong choices right now. But so far, so good. And then thirdly, we've got Nicholas. So this kid is amazing. I love him. I love that Lauren has decided to include him as much as she has so far. It's Raphael's son. I don't think that's a spoiler. And I didn't know if he would kind of be just sprinkled in the book, but no, he's a really big part of this book. He's so sweet. He's so brave. He's in nearly every chapter. He's kind of the center point between Eleanor and Raphael, which I love so far. And I think it would be really neat if in the future Lauren ever decided to write another, not spin-off series, but kind of connecting series like she's done with Dreamland Billionaires and Lakefront Billionaires. Sorry, need to enunciate. And we see Nicholas when he's older, because I think that would be a very interesting storyline. Lauren, if you ever listen to this, take that in mind, please. I have about a quarter or just over a quarter of the book left, I think, if I'm looking at it right. I'm definitely over halfway, but I'm loving it. I haven't read anything by Lauren that I don't love yet, and I'm going to continue to just pick up her books and read. And you know what? Maybe one day I won't like something, but day hasn't come yet, so here we are. She really does have a way with words, and if you haven't read anything by her yet, or you've never heard of her, I strongly suggest you do if you are someone who enjoys a romance kind of comedy novel. It's not super sappy, it's not super sad. There are tough situations, they deal with real life triggering events, but she's very upfront about that. And when I say triggering, I don't mean anything like I've mentioned in Butcher and Blackbird or any dark romance. This is lighthearted, but it's also real life. So just be prepared. She does have stuff on her website if you need to read into anything. Like I said before, I've read all her books. If you're looking to start a series, just be sure you don't start in the middle. There is 3 series. The first one has 4 books. The second one has 3. This one so far has 2, but is planned to have at least 3, I do believe. Dirty Air follows different F1 drivers. Dreamland Billiards follows 3 brothers whose grandfather owned an amusement park. So think somewhat along the lines of Disneyland. I think this by far is one of my favorite series that I've ever read. Just the way that everything is described, and the character in the first book, I think her name is Zara, getting to work and do what she does is so amazing, Erin. And I've talked about this before. Being able to work in like design at an amusement park that large, and Lauren just makes it sound so magical. And by it, I mean the amusement park. And I just automatically think of Disneyland. Like, imagine being able to design a ride or an attraction for Disneyland. I think that would be really cool. So I related heavily with Zara on that. That was really fun to read a book about a character who's really into design. And then Lakefront Billionaires, I guess the best way to describe it is it's following Lakefront Billionaires. Now, these people so far are not related. But Julian is related to someone, I think. No. Someone's a cousin of someone between the two books. Anywho, friends and family who like live on a lakefront in Lake Wisteria. I think that's how you pronounce it. So far so good. Like I said, it does connect to the Dreamland Billionaires, which I do enjoy. And she's even looped in Dirty Air into, again, all my books are mushing together right now. She's either looped in Dirty Air to Dreamland Billionaires, like near the end of the series, or she's looped it in to Lakefront Billionaires, which I love when authors can do that. They just kind of bring in a character from another series, like, hi, hello, how are you? But yeah, so there's 3 series. Make sure you're not starting in the middle. I mean, you don't necessarily have to read them in order. Like, I don't think you'd get major spoilers, but you would get spoilers, and you're going to miss meeting all the characters essentially in the first book, which I love how Lauren plays this out. It's really interesting. You get to meet everyone in the first book, and then you follow different character arcs throughout the series, and you kind of get sprinkles of everyone else throughout. So it's really fun. That might not make any sense to anyone, but I do really enjoy the way she writes. I highly recommend Lauren. I think Erin has read the first 2, or the first one at least, in Dreamland Billionaires. Anyway, you can look up Lauren's works. I will probably post a link on the story when this Microsode goes live, just so you get an insight of everything and you can have all the links you need. But yeah, I will update you guys next week about the book. Hopefully I finished it by then. I should have, because we won't record again until, we'll record next week, so that we're a week ahead. Okay, sorry, just talking to myself, this is so confusing sometimes. But yeah, I'll update you on the book, and maybe by then I will have started another book. This is book 37 of 40 for the year, so please wish me luck. I think I'm going to hit the goal. I don't have any other books to read after 40. Like, I have enough for 40. I do need to start a wish list for Christmas and to start next year. If anyone has any book recommendations, I'm digging rom-coms, just romance. Not an overly big fan of dark romance. Fantasy, sci-fi. Let me know. Let us know. I'm sure Erin would like some book recommendations too. She just might take a little while to get to them, but that's fine. Comments, DMs, emails, you do you. But yeah, how many times have I said take a shot every time? Or like. I'm going to say like again in a minute here as I close out our second Microsode, which this was kind of fun. Although my dad did walk in on me halfway through, even though I told him I would be recording. Don't you love living with your parents? All right. Don't forget to like, rate, and subscribe. You can also comment and send us your thoughts to unapologeticintroverts@gmail.com. We want to hear from you, and we're going to keep saying it until we get some more emails. And by that, I mean it can't be my grandmother, Hannah, Sydney, or my mother. Somebody we don't know. I would love an email, please. Even if it's like, oh, your podcast sucks. Hey, that means you took time out of your day to email us. I appreciate that. Hope everyone enjoyed this week's Microsode. If you'd like to follow us elsewhere on the internet, we have a link in our bio, our link tree. You can follow us on all the socials. Hopefully we will start posting TikTok soon. Maybe that's a 2025 thing. Maybe we'll have video to go with our podcast next year. Who knows? We do have Twitter. We don't really use it. We do have Threads. We were active for a while. We do post on Instagram 3 times a week. No. Technically, because I post stories. But yeah, you can click on all the things, and visit our cool website that Erin made. I hope everyone had a wonderful Friday the 13th, because that's when I'm recording this. Hopefully you don't have triskaidekaphobia, which I know is not the fear of Friday the 13th. I don't know how to pronounce that one. This is just the fear of the number 13. So if you have that, you're usually scared of Friday the 13th. It was very hot in Southern Ontario today. Erin's currently freezing in Edmonton, which I think is hilarious because she likes the heat and I like the cold. But yeah, hope everyone, when you're listening to this, you have a wonderful morning or afternoon, evening. It is 10 p.m. if you're listening when this comes out, or it should be go to bed. It's Wednesday. Happy hump day if you're listening to this when it comes out. But yeah, we will see you next week for an episode of Erin's Choice. She gets to get back from vacation and choose a podcast episode. That sucks. All right, Erin, if you're listening, I hope you had an amazing time. I can't wait to record with you because recording by myself is kind of weird. All right. Goodbye, guys. Thanks for listening.